Hello, and welcome to our video presentation for the 2019 Winter ENCMP Programming Contest. My name is Brendan.
And my name is Michael. Our entry in the limited category is a turn-based survival game called Stranded.
The general concept behind the game is this. You wake up alone on an island with no one around you. You need to survive, and the goal is to get off the island. To do this, you need to do a collection of tasks throughout your days, which include gathering food, water, exploring for people, goods, and building things that will automate these tasks.
Every day, you choose an action, and you try to get off the island in the shortest number of days possible.
We decided to pick a game of this nature because of the initial application of things we learned in class, like while loops and conditions to our gameplay. The most simple concept of our program is a while loop, which states while food and water exist and you have more than 0, you live and the game continues on. The game also presented opportunities to increase its complexity in order to foster challenging and engaging gameplay.
Going into the actual coding, we discovered a few things about the process that goes into creating a game of this style.
Most importantly to this entire process was creating multiple versions of the code, starting from the most basic skeleton and increasing the complexity throughout towards the final product.
The first step, and this is applicable to every code you write, was the creation of a pseudocode. This skeleton lays out the ideas behind the code and allows you to break up the code into small chunks. Through the pseudocode, you can identify the challenging unknowns of your program, as well as the more achievable tasks. Chunking the project into these small goals makes the large project much more achievable.
Something that we found was beneficial to this specific project was the aspect of playtesting. Playtesting is where multiple people who are not involved with the coding process and therefore removed from bias play the game and then give feedback. This was one of the best ways to edit our code from version to version, as the process of playtesting found unknown bugs. These bugs mostly consisted of accidental errors from invalid inputs. This evolved our mindset from that of the developer to that of the user, as they think differently than the people who made the code. We realized the importance of error checking in all of our inputs, such that the code won't crash with an improper/invalid input.
One of our most important steps in the code that allowed for playtesting was the addition of a tutorial and a little backstory. These two things allow the user to learn some required details about the game, as well as giving it some depth. Once we had this part completed, we were able to simply hand someone the game and see how well they were able to do without telling them anything of the game's inner mechanics. Specific mostly to a program of this nature, but also to any further coding endeavors, is the continuation of prioritizing the user through a user-friendly interface. A user-friendly interface makes a program easy to use, simple to follow, and visually pleasing.
With respect to Stranded, this process included visually slowing down the command window for reading purposes. Through indentation and displaying blank lines in the game, it became visually stimulating such that the player knows where to look through movement on the screen. The process of incorporating the user into the final product was one of the most challenging barriers of the game creation process, which we overcame.
To wrap up our video presentation, we want to share that the most important aspect of programming, in any context, is the resilience that you must maintain throughout the entire process.
Bugs are inevitable.
People will criticize.
And things will never just work properly.
However, it is how one handles these obstacles that transforms an average coder into an exceptional one.